Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me here today so that we could discuss Dancing for the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult. This was a Netflix limited series, 3 episode docu-series about. It starts off talking about how there was a pair of sisters who were really famous for doing dances on TikTok and Instagram, so on. They built a really strong brand. They were making a ton of money. They had a ton of fame. Their family was heavily involved as far as like being on camera and being part of the content. Suddenly, they had a split in the family once one of the sisters got heavily involved with a church slash talent management group run by this guy named Robert Shen, who is, by the way, without question, the least charismatic, least entertaining, least cool cult leader in history. This guy's a total bozo. His sermons are completely lack charisma. I don't know how you fall in with this guy other than like he was giving them money, up front. But these people were like already big stars. Like he wouldn't take someone on if they were like just getting started. Like you had to have, millions of followers. So he was taking people who were already established, basically telling them like, hey, we'll take care of everything behind the scenes, all the, setting everything up. All you got to do is show up and create content. And that seems like a great deal, but it actually turned out to not work out so well for them. And they became isolated from their families. They were running into financial problems. There were, mild police investigations. And this docuseries kind of takes a look at everything that went on in there. So I love cult documentaries. I don't understand this one. I want to say up front that like if you're drawn in by the fact that this is related to TikTok, you might be let down. You'll recognize some of the names if you're familiar with like the TikTok dance community, but this really it focuses on Robert Shen, like on like the cult elements of this documentary. It's honestly a documentary about the family of, like I said earlier, there were the two sisters. Like the documentary focuses heavily on their family. We meet other families of victims and so on and so, and other things like that, but we don't. Most of the time is spent on their family and like how TikTok factors into it. Other than like we use it for brand deals, doesn't really factor in. I think that's just more for like clickbait with the title. But this cult actually, or Robert Shen's mischievous ways, go back like decades, right? So this is a long burning story that just happens to be on TikTok at this point. It's moved on to social media. I thought this was a good documentary. It's interesting. It's weird. I It's like with a lot of these cult documentaries, like how do these people who are like successful and have fame and have money coming in, how do they get locked into these situations where these people just take so much advantage of them and take their money and isolate them? And it's really creepy. It's really weird. Robert Shin is really weird. His sermons are so boring. They're so terrible. His religion changes constantly depending on what his legal needs are, like to cover his ass for the cult. But it's well made. It definitely shows the stress that it can put on families. Having a family member in a cult like this, not being able to talk to them. But the thing really comes unglued in the 3rd episode. Like some really strange things happen. The attitude of the cult shifts. It's the 3rd episode kind of is just really weird, really, really strange. But overall, I like this docu-series. I thought it was interesting and it was really stylish. It had beautiful visuals and like if you are a fan of dance, there's just some beautiful dancing in this. It's a great documentary overall. I really enjoyed it. It's just one I struggled to like wrap my head around, I guess. But anyway, that's my review of Dancing for the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult on Netflix. Thank you so much for watching this review. If you like it, check out more right here on YouTube in my movie review playlist. But until then, thanks for watching this one, and hopefully I'll see you soon.